Presented here today are two iconic watches in the world of horology. One from the house of JLC and the other from the house of Omega. The specific ones we have here are the Master Ultra Thin Moonphase and the Speedmaster Moonphase Coaxial. When it comes to moon phases, some say it's the most poetic complication out there, while others call it absolutely useless. That said, most can't argue that it's the most beautiful complication a watch can have. So what is a moonphase watch anyway? Well, by definition, a moonphase is a watch that has the 29.5-day lunar cycle by exhibiting the current moon phase. Usually the moon phase is on a separate subdial. A moon phase is a term to describe the visible or luminous part of the moon as it orbits the planet. Now, there are basically two types of moon phase watches. One that graphically displays the physical moon and its various phases, and the other type is called a radial moon phase, which uses an indicator hand to track the lunar cycle. So how does it work exactly? Well, typically the complication involves placing two identical moons on a disc. Controlling the movement is typically a 59-tooth driving wheel, but that's not always the case, and it uses a mechanical finger to advance the disc once per day. After the first lunar cycle is completed, after 29.5 days, the second moon appears. So it is a very accurate complication. However, with the 59-tooth driving wheel, it does lose one full day every 2 years and 7.5 months. Which means you will either have to set it then or every 3 years, assuming that you actually want to keep track of the lunar cycle. That said, some brands nowadays use a 135-tooth driving gear to keep the lunar phase accurate to about 122 years before it's off by about a day. Now, the entire world of collecting watches really comes down to a more emotional connection to the hobby rather than a logical one. Nowadays, we don't need to tell the time using a mechanical watch, as we have the time everywhere we look, including our phones, which will give us more accurate time than any mechanical watch in existence. But knowing the time isn't the number one priority for collectors, and certainly knowing the lunar cycle isn't either. When it comes to collectors, we really just collect these watches because they're a beautiful form of art, and a moon phase complication just really elevates that. Now, as seen here today, there's two different types of moon phase watches you could buy. A simple ultra-thin dress watch by JLC, which is arguably the most iconic moon phase in the market, and the second choice is for the guy who prefers sportier watches with the Speedmaster Moonphase chronograph. This has become my favorite Speedmaster to date, to be honest. While it isn't the iconic moon watch, there's something poetic and quite frankly epic about having that moon on the dial. Now, my favorite thing about this Omega is the detail that they put inside that moon phase. As you guys can see, the shadows and attention to detail on that moon phase is very apparent. It's that level of attention to detail which gravitates many towards Omega rather than the other brands. But if you're looking for something dressier, something classier, then you can never go wrong with the JLC Master Moonphase. It's the most iconic watch in their line and quite frankly the most beautiful, and you can never go wrong with JLC. After all, they are the watchmakers' watchmakers. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out Exquisite Timepieces if you're interested in this Omega. They're an authorized dealer for Omega alongside Breguet, Blancpain, Grand Seiko, and a lot of different brands, and they also have a lot of really cool pre-owned watches, so make sure you guys check them out. But guys, I wanted to thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. This wasn't a review of both these timepieces. I'm actually going to have a separate review for both the Omega and the JLC, so stay tuned for that. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you have that notification button on so you don't miss any episode. And also guys, make sure you comment down below which one was your favorite. And guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.